Lagos Forward.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. It is time for Themes Agenda This Week. Today's edition of Themes Agenda This Week x-rays the efforts of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration in laying down strategies to build a greater Lagos through the Lagos State Resilience Office, LASRO. Please take a listen.
Welcome to another edition of T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda This Week, a special report that focuses on the activities and achievements of the T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda of Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. In a world where innovation is non-negotiable, countries must be prepared to continually acquire additional knowledge, skills, and understanding of emerging realities so as to live in a world where people can breathe clean air, the world without the climate threats of droughts and floods, and also a world where resources are plentiful with enough for everyone to earn a good livelihood. This is a vision for a more resilient world. That is why the Lagos State government, under the leadership of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is vigorously pursuing this objective in addressing the challenges of population growth, rapid urbanization, and environmental changes in an integrated manner for the administration to achieve its vision in becoming Africa's model mega city. Into the special report on T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda This Week, Damilare Fagunwa of our News and Current Affairs Department x-rays the efforts of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration in laying down strategies to build a greater Lagos through the Lagos State Resilience Office, LASRO. Lagos State is faced with numerous changes in its economic and environmental landscape, ranging from climate change, population, migration, rapid urbanization, and so on. This is why Lagos Resilience Strategy is a testament of this administration's commitment to improve the quality of life of Lagos residents. The strategy is based on a shared vision towards a stronger and more resilient city that is able to adapt to the demands of the 21st century and beyond. The agency's major focus is to strengthen the capacity of individuals, communities, businesses, institutions, and systems within the state to survive, adapt, and grow in the face of all forms of chronic stresses and acute shocks residents could be facing. Lagos State's Resilience Office was inaugurated in April 2019 based on a partnership between the state government and the Rockefeller Foundation via the 100 Resilient Cities program. The office starts with developing a city resilience strategy as a framework geared towards strengthening the capacity of individuals, communities, businesses, institutions, and systems within the state to survive, adapt, and grow in the face of all forms of stresses and shocks. To this end, the Lagos State government, under the leadership of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, launched a strategic document that would help the state tackle its social, economic, and physical challenges by creating an inclusive environment, offer quality governance, and build infrastructure that empowers both the residents and businesses to thrive and grow sustainably. To show his commitment to speedily transform the state into a more resilient city, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, during the launch of the strategic document tagged Lagos Resilience Strategy, explains that with the implementation of the Resilience Strategy, his administration would develop a sustainable approach to combat flooding incidents, stop haphazard urban planning, improve emergency response, provide quality healthcare services, support the immense potential of the youth through technology, and deliver a robust, multimodal, and integrated transportation system without excluding the poor and vulnerable. The resilience document is an attestation to the readiness of the current administration to bequeath a legacy of good governance to residents of the state and also guarantee their well-being. The Lagos Resilience Strategy document contains 3 pillars, 10 goals, and 31 initiatives which provide a framework for improving the capacity of the city to respond to present and future shocks and stresses. This aligns with the Lagos State Developmental Plan, the T.H.E.M.E.S Agenda, and the Sustainable Development Goals. With the pace of development going on across the state and its attendant effects on the environment, Lagos cannot afford to rely on traditional concepts in tackling its challenges, but needs to adopt a cross-sectoral planning and implementation approach which brought about the 3 pillars, 10 goals, and 31 initiatives in the Resilience Strategy document. Speaking during the launch of the Lagos Resilience Strategy, Governor Sanwo-Olu acknowledged that the success of this strategy depends on 3 major factors, which include mainstreaming resilience, collaborative engagement and monitoring and evaluation. The governor is confident that by 2025, Lagos will be Africa's model megacity and global economic and financial hub that is safe, secure, functional and productive through the Lagos State Development Plan 2012 to 2025, listed in the 3 pillars in the Resilience Strategy document as efficient city, enterprise city, and inclusive city with different goals under each pillar.
If you go and check the sustainability model of all the states in the country, Lagos is top in terms of sustainability, how resilient you are, how sustainable you are. You need to be able to take some audacious decision and be able to plan the infrastructure of your people for the future. Lagos, yes, has a decent borrowing portfolio, but you know the truth, we're less than 1/3 of even what we should be borrowing. So I can assure you, and I can assure your audience, that we're not even near it at all. But we're also being very responsible to be able to create that tomorrow for the people that are coming behind us. All of the things that we need to do is let's create that platform. Let's give them that infrastructure that they require today.
The Lagos Resilience Strategy is anchored on an inclusive approach in which the city's stakeholders across sectors, including academia, business, government, non-governmental, local communities, traditional institutions, and citizens are mobilized to identify the city's main challenges and co-create dynamic initiatives to address them with a periodic review of activities to monitor its alignment with the city's development priorities and to track progress on resilience building. In line with the team's agenda of making Lagos a 21st century economy, the Lagos State Resilience Office, LASRO, is moving towards a clear pathway to achieve the state vision of becoming Africa's model megacity, as well as becoming a city that values and exemplifies data-driven policy development and decision-making, a city that leverages the strengths it has, also transforms challenges to opportunities, and most importantly, a city that works for all Lagos residents. To further demonstrate its administration's commitment, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu inaugurated a resilience committee to Lagos resilience strategy on the need to gather data, plan for the future, and prepare on the next step of developing a resilient city strategy. The committee comprises top government officials, ministries, departments and agency, academia, non-governmental organization, civil society, and community representative. The committee is mandated to build on existing structures and institutions and also leverage innovation and technology and avoid duplication of efforts and investment while it delivers tangible resilience outcomes to communities. To solidify the operations of the agency, Governor Sanwo-Olu also confirmed the appointment of Dr. Folayinka Daniel as the substantive Chief Resilience Officer for the Lagos State Resilience Office. Taking the bull by the horn, LASRO Chief Resilience Officer Folayinka Daniel immediately activated different programs and interventions in order to achieve the resilience strategy pillars, goals, and initiatives of the state government. Taking the bull by the horn, LASRO Chief Resilience Officer Folayinka Daniel immediately activated different programs and interventions in order to achieve the resilience strategy pillars, goals and initiatives of the state government. One of such interventions was a stakeholders forum on resilience action plan that addresses the myriad of challenges confronting Ajegunle-Ikorodu community. The plan was developed by LASRO in collaboration with the Center for Housing and Sustainable Development, University of Lagos, members of Ajegunle-Ikorodu community, and other partners. The action plan were categorized as immediate, medium, and long-term, aimed at changing the entire architecture and landscape of the Ajegunle-Ikorodu community for the better. LASRO has also taken capacity building as an integral part of the strategy. To this end, resilience sensitization workshops took place for council managers and senior officers of the 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas across the state. During the workshop themed Imbibing Resilience Culture in Local Government Programs and Projects, LASRO Chief Resilience Officer Folayinka Daniel gave an overview of the Lagos Resilience Strategy, stating that the workshop will allow LGAs, LCDAs, officials understand the role they have to play in the state resilience strategies. Daniel, who stressed the need for implementation of the Lagos Resilience Strategy, urged officials to embrace the initiatives outlined and create new opportunities to source finance that will produce greater benefits and resilient outcomes.
And under the strategy, we want to ensure that Lagos State has enough data and information to be able to plan for the future. And that is why we're saying that everyone needs to register for their Lagos State residence registration card. And this is important because it allows government to know where to direct the limited resources that are currently available. So for instance, if we say a local government has this certain number, or this area within a local government has a certain number of people, then we can begin to think, are the schools enough in this community? Do we need to build more schools? Do we need to build an additional hospital, as in whether it's primary or secondary, and to ensure that everyone there has access, as into the social amenities, as in that government provides. But if we do not have this information, then whatever it is that we are using to plan, as it will not adequately provide, as in for those communities. So please, if you haven't registered for LASRA, please go and register for your LASRA card.
Participants at the workshop described it as impactful, as well provided details on how the local government areas and local council development areas can plan ahead for the future of the state. It is visible that the present administration is aiming to strengthen the state economy through the resilience strategy document to guide the state's intervention and investment in all sectors for a long-term return. The present administration added that the resilience lens, which is a diagnostic and decision-making tool that is used to evaluate and prioritize options, make decisions and trade-offs about initiative design, and ensure maximum resilience benefits in identified initiatives. The first pillar of the Lagos Resilience Strategy document, which is Efficient City, has 4 goals, which is plans to develop a robust, multimodal and integrated transport system, improve access to clean water and sanitation, enhance the provision of affordable and reliable energy, and enhance the city's resilience through land use planning. The second pillar is Enterprise City, that has 3 goals, which is to support individual and collective entrepreneurship as a driving force for innovation and development. It will as well position the state as an attractive and open city, valuing cultural and environmental assets. And finally, to prepare youth for a changing economy to master plan will be raising the state's capacity to be a key player in agricultural production. Lastly, the third pillar is Inclusive City with 3 goals, which consist of creating an inclusive environment for all city residents, as well as strengthening information management and disaster preparedness, and to improve the earth system for state residents in times of shock. Our reporter also went to town to feel the pulse of negotiations on the various efforts of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration on the Lagos State Resilience Office LASRO, an agency under the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. And here is what they have to say.
I want to say a very big thank you to the Lagos State government, and sincerely as a local government personnel, we have been trained on how to incorporate all these strategies to uplift our plan towards the Lagos resilience state, so as to overcome the shocks and the stress that could come upon it in the nearest future.
First and foremost, I want to thank the Lagos State government for trying to be inclusive in their approach to this issue of resilience. Hitherto, we felt that the Lagos State government has its own agenda, while the local government will also pursue a different agenda. But with this, the state government has proven that we are in the same boat. I think the onus is on us to replicate the gesture of the state government so that the dream of achieving that resilient city will be achieved by us.
Resilience is something that we are familiar with. Lagos is always going into one problem or the other, and it is able to bounce back. So we are learning from that. And when I get back to my SCDA, I'm going to talk about the health, the waste products being renewed, in which the community can benefit from, implement certain things that we have learned, like the health centers, for instance, so that the community could benefit from that.
The Lagos Resilience Strategy is the state's first urban resilience strategy document, and it articulates an integrated approach to addressing the shocks and stresses the city experiences or might experience. Achieving the vision of a more resilient Lagos requires work over the short, medium, and long terms. The initiatives articulated in this strategy are affordable, replicable, and measurable. They will support the community's effort to adapt to global environmental change, to survive no matter what shocks occur, and to confidently thrive, resulting in a Lagos that is truly efficient, inclusive, and prosperous. To achieve a greater result, the state government requires the support of the residents for the urgent and important tasks ahead in implementing these actions. With this, we have come to the end of this week's edition of the special report on the activities and achievements of the T.H.E.M.E.S agenda, focusing on Lagos State Resilience Office, LASRO. For feedback, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. Twitter at Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe to our channel Traffic Radio 961. You can also download our app Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM from Play Store for more traffic updates. This program is a production of Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I am Abiola Fabulago.
Today's T.H.E.M.E.S agenda X-rayed the efforts of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration in laying down strategies to build a greater Lagos through the Lagos State Resilience Office, LASRO. There will be a repeat broadcast just after the news at 9.